Good evening. This is the Bedford Township Park Commission meeting for January 12th. Call to order the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. Pending any additions or anything somebody might have, we need a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes from our last meeting of 2025, December 22nd. I didn't notice any changes, but just if anybody has anything, chime in. Otherwise, I'll motion to approve those minutes.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aaron, you can mark yourself an aye or a no, depending on your vote. But the minutes are approved from the 22nd. Secretary's report. No report there. We're good. Treasurer's report.
Yeah, I'll get it to pull up here. Should be coming up. Okay. 3 cleaning bills, 2 for car, 1 for Samaria, 2 consumers bills, Michigan Gas, and then some water bills and a sewer bill. No revenue for the month. Also to report, last meeting we had a check for the cell tower at Car Park.
Correct.
Did the checkup on that with Nicole in the treasurer's office. Yes. Arcadia Infrastructure did get bought or merged with Verta. So
Okay.
now we'll be getting checks from Verta.
That's what I figured. Yeah, everything looks nothing out of the ordinary with it. I will motion to approve the treasurer's report as it stands.
Support.
All in favor? Aaron?
Yes.
Matthew?
Aye.
Myself? Aye. Josh?
Aye.
And Dawn?
Aye.
The treasurer's report is approved. Trying to remember what our next line item is.
Community Education Park Partners.
Is that it? Okay.
Well, there's presentations.
Yep, we don't have any presentations on the board. No updates from any of the baseball leagues, all that. Now that we're into the new year, I'll look into the contracts and all that and try to set up a meeting separate with those groups just to kind of go over the extension to new bid. We did a 3-year lease agreement. I've talked to Black Ops at Carr. They want to continue theirs. I have not spoken with or gotten anything yet from Select for Samaria and Parmalee, but as far as the last I had known, they were looking to continue, and obviously 3B is going to continue at White Park as they are. But we'll get those updated and kind of have a meeting and expectations and all that and get new contracts in place.
So are we planning on getting the key back from the...
Well, I'll talk with them on all of those pieces and
Yeah.
once we have it, and obviously keep you in the loop with
I trust you.
them being at Carr. That's all I have from Commenter Parks Partners.
Any revisions to the contracts potentially?
Not that I see necessary. They hadn't been revised in over a decade the last time, and we had our attorney the township attorney go through, update them to modern day the last time, which was 3 years back. So we're just simply, obviously, the finer details, filling in the dates and what there's
renewing the
Yep,
contract.
and renewing them.
Nice.
But I'll keep you in the loop on that if there's any other odds or changes. Comments from the public, there's none present, which leads us into our new business. First line is the Car Pavilion review of the bids and our options. We did have that out for public bid. That was closed. We got all of them back. Matthew, you kind of have the finer details, numbers, and so forth with it. I'll let you take the reins on this.
Let me just pull it up real quick.
So the bids that we put out to public and were for what the engineer had determined necessary items to repair, replace on the current pavilion. Between the posts, I think there was some
18 posts.
18 posts, there's concrete repair, there's a bunch involved with it of things that need done because those posts were like rotting out. I know we had looked at this years back and nothing ever got handled with it. So everything based on these bids was strictly for keeping what is there, the pavilion that is there, and just making the repairs and items that need replaced for it to bring it up.
So the main difference was the lowest bid was around 84,000 for repair, and the highest was over 100,000 for repair. And that was difference, like one company was cheaper with concrete but more expensive with the pavilion repair. So I think, well, our options are to go with the repairs, or we could potentially get a brand new one with maybe get some bids on what it would cost to put a new one in, as opposed to repairing it and keeping all the old.
To give you some insight with it, where the lowest to the highest number, though that range, being that we're in the winter now and nothing's going to really happen for these next few months as is, I would suggest us as a board, unless somebody is adamant against it or opposed, we look at doing an open bid for a full pavilion replacement and getting that out and getting bids on that. There are others locally in the area that we have visited and seen that are brand new concrete, everything, and the numbers and cost to do that line up right with where these repair bids are.
And we do have a meeting with someone who just had theirs done at State Line School, so hopefully we can get more information from them and kind of
Who did it, the contractor,
Yeah.
and so forth. But where it looks and kind of what I'm recommending is where it stands. We don't pursue these repair or replacement bids. We don't make an approval for it and take that to Township Hall. I would look at, let's get it to an open bid and put out for the full pavilion replacement. We're going to spend a hair more and then have something completely structurally brand new than trying to replace these old posts. And
we know it's going to be up to code too.
exactly. So that's my recommendation. If anybody has anything they want to bring to the table or make a motion on or vote on, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, that's kind of what I'm recommending and where we stand.
Well, I guess does it hurt having quotes for
Right.
repair and quotes for new, and then we can
Then
bring
we
it back
can
to the
view it all
board
at
and
once.
view it all
Seeing
and
where
take
these
a look.
numbers are with repair,
Yeah.
we might as well get quotes for new and compare them and look at,
right.
here's where everything weighs. We now know repair-wise where we're standing and what's necessary. We might as well, let's get an open bid put out and get quotes for an entire replacement.
I'll make a motion that we place out for bid to obtain quotes for total replacement brand new.
It doesn't need to be a motion.
Okay.
It's unless you didn't want to go this route or look, sure, if you want to.
Sure, I'll support.
Yeah,
I'll
support.
the motion.
All right.
All in favor of obtaining bids for replacement, say aye.
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 Aye. Perfect. That's all we need for that one. Update Al, I think he's got this main update on the Samaria Hall heater replacement. Over the holidays, we had come across the heater was pretty much barely surviving, if doing anything.
Yeah,
So we did an emergency replacement of that, and
we had some
Yeah.
problems there. Heat exchanger went. We had some carbon monoxide that was leaking. It was a 20-year-old furnace. We were very fortunate enough, though, to be able to turn around, unlike other situations, and we were able to get 3 bids.
right.
In 3 days.
Yeah, like
3 bids in 3 days and the replacement done before anything froze before.
Yeah, so we
Could have led into a mess.
Yeah, it could, because we hit a nice little
Warm up.
spat of warm weather. Contractor did what they said they were going to do, so we got a new furnace in there. The central air is in there. The only thing we're waiting for right now is just get our final inspection, but I believe that will pass. The thing is, what we're going to have to do is keep an eye on car park, because
It's about the same time.
that's an older one too.
Yep.
So we'll probably get that inspected and see where we're at with it, but you can even get furnaces inspected and they can go the week later. With old furnaces, so.
When the heat exchanger goes, it goes.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
So, so other than that, it's all done, so.
What was the final? Did I miss the price?
10,340.
Yeah, we
1,000
came
and
in,
change.
we originally, there was one quote, the high quote was like 12,000 and some, almost 13.
Yeah. 560,
And we got it done for, I believe it was 10.8, somewhere around there, 10.9.
Yeah.
It was a company called
$10,800 approximately.
So, yeah, approximately, yeah.
We don't need a motion to approve that.
No, it was,
No,
township held an emergency meeting to, once they got the 3 bids over the weekend, and it's already been replaced and is done.
Because it was leaking carbon monoxide, it had to be done. It was a health.
It also, during that time frame too, didn't interfere with any rental bids for it or anything of that nature, so.
Right, we were like,
Everything,
everything fell into place.
other than it breaking itself, everything went really smoothly with
Right,
it, so.
exactly.
That's why I put it on here, just so everybody was up to speed. We have it out to the public to know what's going on. If anybody saw, we had a company there and replacing. That's what that was with the heater replacement.
10,350.
10,350, there you go. Our next item is, Al, you're here for mainly like Banner Oak info and that.
Yeah, Banner Oak and.
What we'll do is just flip-flop C and D. So let's move to C and D, or to item D. It's the Banner Oak School Building there at Crab and Stearns. The Bedford Historical Society, as of the new year, disbanded and are no longer managing that. It's that historical
They
building.
no longer have any members.
It doesn't exist.
There's the storage facility.
Opposite
Diagonal.
Like
diagonal corner, yep.
Southeast
That's
corner.
that's the original school hall.
Really paid much attention to it. Okay, yeah.
So they used to run, I know they did school field trips used to go there. It's been around.
luncheons, too.
They'd have luncheons. There's things and options there. Al is here to kind of tell you what's going on and what our options are and would we like to be a part of it, kind of a scenario.
Yeah, in terms of Banner Oak, I mean, they had the Bedford Historical Society, and we thank them for all the work they did. If you've never been in there, it is a fully furnished schoolroom in the period. There are desks in there, pictures in there, so on. So it's not just an empty building. It's an actual living museum. So the thing is that Bedford Township actually owns it. So we have Trudy Urbani, who's one of our local historians. She's written a couple books. She's offered to possibly help. I've talked to Carl Schultz. He's going to support a grant that I'm going to go for because we need a new front door. It's bad, but it needs to be more period style. And we also need ADA compliance ramp. Okay, as Andrew has stated, there's been events there, luncheons, that kind of thing. I don't know if the school's been coming over there as much, but that needs to be promoted. The thing is if we take a look at Banner Oak and kind of consider it a park, and I'm still checking into things, that might be considered, we might be able to get more grants. It is a historical site on the Michigan Historical Register. So there could be things there. There could be other events held there underneath the park umbrella in terms, I look at it, we're coming up on our 250th anniversary. What a great place maybe to do some ice cream socials, maybe do, open it up, let people see how it was back in 1871. One of the interesting things about Banner Oak, it was designed and built by Frank Ludwig, who had happened to be a Civil War veteran, who happened to also be a prisoner of war that the Confederates took him. So there's some history there. When he came back, there used to be a school on the other side of the road, Lord School. That only held something like, I think it was 20 kids or whatever. So when they built Banner Oak, it was able to hold like 55. So I just started thinking, well, geez, this might be good to put underneath the park umbrella. We have to take care of it anyways, but it could open us up to more funding. It could open us up to more events. Who knows? Maybe somebody wants to get married there. Maybe somebody wants to have a picnic there or whatever. It could be, we got to explore it all, but I think it could be a really neat thing for us to consider, in terms of that and getting people involved. But if you haven't been there, I'll be happy to show it to you. It's pretty neat. But I want to get the bathrooms fixed. There's things that it needs plaster work. It needs some maintenance stuff. We did put a new roof on it back several years ago, so the roof is good. And that was the main thing. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't want to see the building just sit and not get utilized, especially when we have all that history with it.
Is it currently where people can go and come? It's like open dawn to dusk?
No,
It's not.
no.
So we'd kind of have to.
Yeah,
make
they'd
it
have
like
to
an
schedule
open-
things and so on, you know.
You wouldn't want to make it like an open dawn to dusk place,
No,
per
just
se?
because the antiques we got in there, that type of thing, you know, we kind of want to know.
Wonder if a park could be like just created around the property, and then like the property could remain closed, but the park could be a dawn to dusk thing.
Oh, like
People
that,
could still
like.
come. Like how
maybe
many
get, like,
acres is
some
it?
big-
It's not.
It's not a lot of acreage there.
It's not a big lot. It's pretty much the school building and
Grass.
the grass where the.
It was always
parking
a
lot.
field trip
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
kids.
When I was younger, I know it was all the elementary classes.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
they weren't still, but I know at the time, like,
Right.
we would go as a field trip class and go and tour it, see the history, learn about it. I thought Bedford Schools was still potentially doing that. That's somewhere we could get them involved to it.
And the thing is too, we really haven't marketed Banner Oak School in the sense, I mean,
No.
you have Toledo right in our backyard. I mean, how many one-room schoolhouses does Toledo have? Probably zilch. You know what I mean? So, it is a great field trip destination, you know, in terms of seeing it. The bell still works, which is pretty cool, you know. So there's things there that I just started thinking, well, maybe this should be underneath the parks. You know, we'd have to sit down, analyze it, kind of come up, hey, what type of events would we like to see there, and so on. I looked at it possible, you know, I have to call a gentleman, they're going to be bringing, I forget how many Model A's through Bedford this upcoming summer. That might be a real good spot for them to stop, because they already want to stop at one of the parks. But what a great place to hold maybe some events like that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly, we have the LEO system, and I don't
Right.
think anything else in the township apparatus has something that could just add a facility
Correct.
for booking.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
does-
Unless it were to go through the schools and ComEd.
Yeah,
and who
so
also
now I can
utilizes
see
that.
now I can see how like it could be a revenue generator
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
you
township,
could- right.
but there's no entity within the township that could be the vehicle to pipe that revenue through.
Correct.
Whereas we could put it into the LEO system and just continue.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it might be something where, you know,
That's the
where
move,
people
yeah.
come to, if you're not a Bedford resident, I don't know how this all looks like, but maybe if you're coming from Ohio or something, maybe it's a $5 charge if you're bringing a class or something, or what, you know, something to keep some revenue coming in or whatever. Other museums charge, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's,
Is there a parking lot?
yeah,
Sort
it's
of.
just stone,
It's stone.
yeah,
I'm guessing this is a.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
right.
That's it.
Can we go check it out on our own? Do we need to like call you? Or
Yeah, just call me, and I've got keys to it. So if you
don't?
call me,
Can
I
we go park and walk around and not go in?
Oh, yeah, you could do
Yeah,
that.
it's
around the-
pretty much
It's gonna
like a
be
half-acre home lot.
Right.
It looks like a house, really. It's once you pay
Yeah.
attention and notice. it's
Just
a
drove
school
by it
house.
earlier. I mean, I know it now that we're saying it.
Yeah.
I'll park and walk
I
around.
mean,
I
from-
won't go inside. I'll just walk around. You know.
I think it's a
Can't get inside.
I think it's a positive to if we're able to do that, to list it as
Yeah.
park. If it helps with grants, if it helps with potential coming in. I mean, from my eyes and my view, obviously none of us operate anything full time, and it's not like one of us is going to step in and run this 8 to 5 every day for
Yeah,
tours and things.
exactly.
The biggest piece would be maintenance and things to update and all that, which that budget already comes from township anyway. It's not really any of our biggest piece would be if in the future it does get to that point where we can book field trips and school, it would be adding it to our system and basically allowing Township Hall and however they want a setup or how that's going to be and look, working between the two of us.
I
to
think it
set
could
that
make
up on-
more. I mean, we have car park and Samaria. It could probably make more than the two of those combined.
Potentially, if it's
Yeah, you know,
promoted
we haven't
properly
even,
and
it's never really been open to the public.
No.
We've never had like, okay, we're gonna open up like once a month or something or whatever. You know, I go to places, they'll ask for a donation or whatever, or, you know, I mean, so we really haven't done that. And here we got this gem sitting there. And like you said, there's not a lot of one-room schoolhouses that are actually furnished that I know of that you go to and it's like, hey, go sit at the desk, go see where the teacher's at, go see, you know, it's
Not many in the region, I can say that.
We could even move
No,
it to one of the
if you-
parks.
Huh?
Move the whole thing.
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Look at Henry Ford.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, if we had the fun stuff.
Yeah, you want
Move it like over
the
to the
cost is on
library.
that.
Well, if it was at the library, there'd be people in there probably all the time.
Right.
You know, it's just, that's the location of where it was built, you know, when there was nothing here, basically, so,
Yeah, 1871 you said was,
yeah.
yeah, it's,
So how would we proceed? I guess just wait for you guys at Township to
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
have
it,
to
or
sit down, let me put some ideas together.
yeah, I mean.
I'll talk to a couple of the other elected, like Trudy and Krista and so on, and say, hey,
What
we're thinking
what can we
about.
help with? How can we set
Yeah,
this
what
up?
do you think?
Where can we go with this? I mean, why not? It's already owned by the township, so it's either just gonna sit there as is, or it's more or less crunching ideas and.
Does it have heating and air? Does it have heating and air?
It was built in 1871.
It's never been retrofitted or anything.
Nope.
I mean, it's like, yeah,
It's not, it is to date,
yeah, it is. Bathrooms aren't even
central air, no.
What'd you say about the bathroom?
outside, towards, in a
Yeah,
separate, like,
it's-
building, because
Yeah.
there was no room.
They had.
Yeah, it's what they did. So,
I mean, obviously, it's unfortunate the Historical Society disbanded, and that's where they moved. They operated that forever, and
oh, they did.
those, and they did a great job with it. It's how do we continue that?
Right, and people that, you know, they just, in terms of volunteerism, you know, they really did a lot. It's just getting people involved and people who are really interested in history to carry the torch, right? I mean, that's the biggest hurdle that we have in any volunteer stuff nowadays, because everybody's so busy in their jobs and so on, and so, but, yeah. Any other questions, or?
One thing I will say, you said something about like open up for tours and then like sometimes like maybe like 1 week at a month. It could just be like on a Saturday, just some, you know, like noon to 5 or something like that, a public tour.
Right,
And as it becomes known that that's the
Yeah.
tour day, it'll grow with time. It's
exactly.
a
Yeah.
matter of if we do it, you know, a spring to fall season where
Yeah.
we've got volunteers or somebody with the knowledge set up to,
Right.
yes, I'm willing to volunteer this day of the month, the 15th of the month, or the third
Right.
Saturday, or the however it may be. Once it's learned of and promoted,
Kind of gave me an idea, like,
Yeah,
do
use
like an
that
Easter egg
site.
hunt or like a fall
Right.
event there too, even.
and if it gets to that point where we do have the volunteers and we've got a setup and going, that's where obviously we can promote to the school board and
Exactly.
you know, to, hey, do you want to get elementary classes back involved and get the Jackman Road Elementary students over there in third grade on this day and get like it's
Yeah, like
it's a
it's
very
get 'em all over.
close by
Oh, you look at all
field
this,
trip day for
Right.
the Bedford schools to be able to go to.
Right.
And that's just looking at Bedford schools.
right, you got Erie, Whiteford, you got all them. other
Ida,
schools.
Monroe, Toledo, go like it's
Right.
there's a lot of opportunity there. It's just how
Just
do,
gotta put
how
a
do we
plan
move
together.
forward?
Right. I'll sit down with them. We'll kick around some ideas and see what's gonna be the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
Keep
should
us
proceed.
in the loop and whatever you need from us and what we can help with.
I just got one other thing too,
Shoot.
if that's okay. I've got Pat, he's supposed to be working on getting some bids for the doors at Carr Park.
Oh, yeah.
We got that, there's a trip hazard there and we need to get it fixed. So, once we get those bids, we'll get them over to you, see
Sounds good.
what'll happen with those. So, and then tentatively, like Matt had said, I'm supposed to meet the gentleman over at the state line. We already looked at it. Matt and I went over there. It looks like a great building. You know, the only thing is that cost-wise, we'd have to take a look, you know, energizing it, getting, you know.
Yep. There's going to be a little
Yeah,
bit more
there'll be a little
involved.
bit more cost, but I think longevity-wise, that could be something that could last years to come.
And I feel like a replacement is more the route.
Yeah, we've been kicking
With
it
the-
back and
With the
forth.
cost of repair,
Yeah, Matt and I, we
The
were,
fascia, the
Right.
the roof.
yeah, we were looking at it. It needs a new roof. It needs fascia. It's going to need to be repainted. There's just a lot of things there, but, you know, we didn't have a baseline to start from.
no, we
You know,
didn't.
because and Andrew, you know this, some people are saying, oh, you fixed that for 19,000 or 20,000. It's like, well, nobody ever really, truly.
We did that
analyzed
in
it.
2020.
Yeah.
4 years back as our past board. We had a company approved. It was at 21.5, I think.
Right.
For simply replacing the 18 posts.
Right.
That company, after approval, and reach in touch with them. We're going to get us dates for the spring because we did it about this time frame, January, February, and multiple calls back to that company. But it's been 4.5 years that we've never heard a word from them again. They never showed, nothing, nothing ever happened.
And the thing too is,
And that was prices at that time.
oh yeah, and I think what people have to realize too, when we have any government structure, because people will say, well, why are you getting an engineer? Okay, because you're going to ask us that question if it falls down one day. Who engineered the buildings? These are government buildings. This isn't your garage in the backyard that you're calling, Billy Bob to put it up for you. So when we do a government project, yes, a lot of times we do have to pay that price, but it is for public safety. And it's just something, I'm a big believer in. It's like the pickleball courts. You drive by there, right? Doesn't look like a hard concept. We're going to put down some blacktop, put down a fence and whatever. But you got a base to that. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that you got coatings to it. There's a lot of things. You got drainage on it. But we have an engineer do all that because if it isn't right or something happens, we go back to the engineer and say, hey, what transpired?
Exactly.
If we don't do that, then it comes back all to us, and I'm not an engineer. And people all say, well, you spent taxpayer dollars. Well, why didn't you check this out? Well, and that's what happens. So just to let people know, a lot of these things we do get engineered to make sure that it's going to hold up. And, I took a little criticism when I shut the pavilion down, but I said, well, what happens if it does come down in a storm? Who's
Not the route we want to approach.
Yeah, exactly. So, and coming from construction, I've seen things fall down. I've seen things fall down that were brand new. So, I don't like.
Bad lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, I don't like to take a lot of chances when it comes to old structures.
Not at all.
So they had a comparable one at State Line that you went and checked out.
Size-wise.
Yeah, and
Okay, I see.
and
I went and saw it too,
Right.
and it's a fantastic looking building. It's nice.
right. And the thing is we
It's
haven't
a great looking pavilion.
even gotten the community involved, right? So I mean, if we take something like this, we might be able to get some funding. We might be able to name the pavilion, right? Give you naming rights. We've got a lot of contractors, and just to give you an idea, when we did the sidewalk between the junior high and the library, the cement local stepped up. They did all that finishing for nothing. They didn't charge us anything. That was a huge savings. Then we got a discount on the concrete. That was another huge savings. So, there could be some things. That's one thing I do want to find out from the church. Did they have any in-kind donations? Because someone might say, yeah, this only cost us $100, but they might have had 20 grand in in-kind donations. So
True.
we need to find that out and say, hey, did anybody donate? What did they do? Okay, so we'll get all those facts, and then we can sit down and say, okay, here's what I think is going to be best.
As it looks at this time with getting
Yeah.
those bids in, a replacement's
Exactly.
going to be the more logical, fiscally responsible approach to take.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more you look at it, it's,
That's-
I mean, I've gone over there several times, and, the concrete does have to go.
It's bad.
It's bad. I just,
And look at it this way, we put this new one up, how many years do you think we're going to get out of it? 20 to 30?
Easily.
no, you'll probably get more,
50 plus.
longer than that.
Exactly, so let's do it right and save money.
How long that one's lasted.
Architectural sheet.
Or there's also
40 year
the,
plus
Metal roof, too.
shingles, let alone-
Exactly.
it's-
well, no, there's also the just don't have one.
There is that route.
Take it away and
We'll let you make that.
don't repair, don't replace, more grass.
We'll
There's
let you
possibly
make
that route.
I
announcement
think
over
I
there,
think
too.
that'll be the cheapest for the taxpayer, but we'll see, I guess, when we get there. And
Still the
it's like I'm thinking of that pavilion, and like I don't know, I don't ever really see many people using it. So
Well, I can tell you this. I live down there. I walk my dog down there. Matt lives down there. In the summertime, a lot of things aren't booked because they don't book. They just show up and
Yep.
use the pavilion, right? So there is a lot of use over there, and I think you're going to see more, even like with the pickleball courts and so
agree.
on. You're going to get more people. Hey, let's
yeah.
let's have a barbecue and play pickleball or whatever. So it does get used. I can
Out
tell you
of
that.
the rentals, car is the most rented hall.
that's true.
And other than White Park for birthday parties, having those two pavilions there by the big
Right.
playscape, That is the most rented pavilion. Running that system since we've put it in place and seeing it all, I can vouch to that.
I guess it is
Especially because
rentable.
they rent the
And
pavilion.
that's,
something
and that's
that brings
those that
in revenue.
do, and that's those that do rent it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the rental system is you can take your shot and go over there if it's not in use. It's a public pavilion to utilize.
Right.
I always
But
think
you don't
of the
have
hall,
first
not the
rights to
pavilion,
it if-
though. You're right. There is at least a revenue source.
There is a revenue source.
Even if it takes 50 years to recover, there is at least
Exactly,
something
you get-
going back into that exact facility. So, okay.
You know, we do have, there is a draw, you're gonna have a couple draws now, not only, you're gonna have pickleball courts there, baseball's a draw there. I can't tell you, that basketball court gets used a ton.
Gets
And if you. and-
heavily.
Exactly, so it is a heavily used park, so, which is good. So, any other questions, or,
Nothing.
okay. If you do, call me, you got my number, so
Perfect. Appreciate the update, Al.
we'll let you know about the state line and their.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. That will bring us kind of flip-flopping back to 9C. I put this on there, kind of an open discussion regarding the playscapes and plans. We haven't really approached anything official. I know Josh has been kind of doing his legwork of here's
with
different,
people and-
here's other people, here's different companies, here's options. We basically just need to have our discussion as a board, how are we approaching these? I mean, reasonably, with the cost of them, you're looking at probably doing one per year.
Right.
Do
Focus on the
do we
worst
want to
first.
focus, what order do we want to focus on? How do we want to go about this? If it's a full-blown replacement at these, I don't want to be the one that's sitting and, yep, I choose that item and that item and that. I think we should have companies actually, here's the site, professionally design me, if we're looking at an ADA one or a playscape that fits this zone and area with, best amenities that you can put in or these options and present from there. I don't know how you guys feel on it or what you were thinking as your approach. I know you've been doing the legwork to it, so.
So I have some info. So I did go around with, a while back I mentioned that a rep from Miracle Raleigh.
Miracle, yep.
So we just went,
The current company, that's all Miracle Playground
yeah.
equipment.
So we went ahead and we decided to go to all four of the parks. Let's just see what's going on with all four and what condition they're currently in and just evaluate what we have. And let's, see which one's the worst to, and what order we should go in. Well, from what we've seen, White's the one in worse shape.
Yep.
And obviously
it's
it's
the
a
most heavily
high-use
used.
park,
Yep.
so it makes sense. We're going to do White Park's Playscape first, and then maybe Car after that, Marmalade, then Samaria. But just from talking with him on some of the things, and we even ran into a few things some maintenance things. He took a few pictures, hey, this is something else we need to fix, or this is something else that should get done, or hey, this is something we did replace not long ago. And then I talked with them, of course. BCA Burke is another popular one. Their quality is really good, and they have a really good warranty as well. And then I've also talked with Plain Park Structures. This is the same company that did the playscape at Douglas Road Elementary, so we know, you can see right here in our own territory what good of a job they did there. Just from talking with some of them, some of the insights I've received, I think I've said it before, doing the rubber surface is not really a good idea because A, the cost is higher, but also B, we have problems with vandalism. If it gets vandalized, you got to cut out a section. Trying to redo that section and blend it back in, it's not going to work well.
Yeah, it's different, like Douglas being behind a school building on school property.
With cameras.
Cameras and everything versus
Yeah.
the open public park that's utilized
They,
all the time.
they have that over at Wildwood. They have the rubber stuff. They haven't had any problems there.
Is it like Douglas's where it's the actual
Is it also
not loose
inclusive?
rubber, it's actual
It's a poured in place, it's sealed.
based.
No, I
Yeah.
actually think it's loose rubber.
Loose rubber.
Yeah.
We could upgrade to something like that system. When I had looked back at it, the first round we ever did replacing mulch and kind of, hey, what's the cost? Loose rubber like that on an initial go was at that time, which was 2021,
Very expensive.
80 to 100,000 for the getting all the mulch, dirt out, leveling it all, getting the amount in you need. You're still backfilling it, not as often as mulch, but you still are going to be backfilling it and have a cost in there. And the biggest piece was making sure and getting the guaranteed certified, it's not like chopped up tire that's hazardous in terms of leaching and chemical, and because it's a children's playscape.
That's too big an expense.
It became
once
an
you
issue
start
where it's
saying
like,
800
let's
yeah,
replace the
800.
mulch and get 400 yards at
Yep.
10 grand for all 4 of the parks at once, and
Yep.
this is how we'll continue.
Yeah.
The surface like you're talking about is like what Douglas Road has. It's not
Yes.
loose. It's rubberized, but it's at Toledo Zoo. I've seen it at Douglas Road. There's a few other places. It's actually sealed and like it's not hard because it's a soft surface, but it's not loose rubber pellets. It's actually like it's like a solid surface.
Yeah, it's a rubber mat.
And you
It's a
can do
rubber mat,
different
right.
colors or like a graphic
Yep.
on it, which is
They've
nice.
got the old dolphin in at Douglas Road, and you can.
It's
do
like it's a
lot
pirate
with
theme,
them.
like they got like the
It's
water.
trowel down rubber with a resin compound that bonds it all, and it's expensive. It is kind of long-term permanent. It's not, you're not replacing granular loose rubber over time. It stays in place. So there is that benefit to it, but
100,000,
We'd have-
4,000, 100,000 per PlayStation, 4,000.
that's where
Yeah, you're
we
talking
would have to look at
400,000
those
versus
things.
Can you
16,000.
make a playscape ADA without it?
Without the rubber turf, yeah. So the turf that these companies are recommending, which even Al agrees with it, he wants to go that route too, is doing a turf surface.
Like the fake grass type thing?
Yeah, but it's not like if you go to the high school stadium, it doesn't have all the black fill in it. It doesn't have that. It's just regular turf. And it's soft. It looks like grass, but it's not. And
I actually like that idea.
It has the impact rating for
Yes.
the height of the playscape structure.
It's
as
all-
mulch,
That's
where
a
you
lot
have to have
cheaper.
so much.
yeah, and it's like
It's cheaper than the rubberized surface.
It is,
Obviously, it's more
yes.
expensive than when we do a new playscape doing a full mulch base.
more than
long
mulch
term.
or wood fiber, but
Long term, you're going to be continuously replacing mulch, whereas this style you don't.
and
These are all the options, and why I wanted to have this discussion is, can we start, if we know White Park's kind of in the worst condition, that's where we're looking. Can we get 2-3 companies out to, here's the zone, here's this? Do we want to approach like we did before and White Park be an ADA accessible?
that's the way Al wants to go. And from what from
Yes.
talking to them, so I have
State
these.
Park.
They've submitted some designs to me, like ones that they've done in other parks in different areas, like Metro
Right.
Detroit or wherever. But I guess what I'm looking at is because like I'm looking at each of these playscapes and looking at okay, like how are we going to theme this? I don't know if we're trying to like go off the elephant deal or whatnot. And I was thinking it'd be nice to do it this year because it's the 250th anniversary. We could make it a patriotic theme or something, like incorporate some stuff into that. So something else I'm looking into, but I'd really like to have everybody's opinion on it and maybe like try to put something together so we can put out to the public on social media and see what feedback we can get from them. The guy from Plain Park Structures, his name is Matt. We talked quite a bit. There were some things that he gave me some insights on. One thing is, I don't know if you guys know what adaptive switch technology is. It's a thing that some special needs kids use. I don't know much about it. But it's one of these things that, like, if parents have kids that use that, they'll know what it is when they see it. And they have, like, these support groups, these Facebook groups they're in. And it's one of those things they're going to, like, tell their friends that are in their groups. And then it's more people from, like, different areas are going to come that have kids that use that stuff because it's good for what they do. And then on top of that, there's also potential we can go for being, like, a national demonstration site, which gives us, like, national recognition. And on top of that, as far as grants go, if we go with this manufacturer in particular, Plain Park Structures, they have a grant that we can go for specifically just for using their company, which is one thing to keep in mind.
Well, I think the first steps are let's get
A professional design.
a professional design.
That's where we're at this point is
And a number.
trying to set on that and then get numbers. But the other thing too, we were looking at they did a project in Grand Ledge on the west side of the state where they kind of have similar issue to us as far as like budget constraint. What they did, they had a playground that they were trying to replace that was like over 30 years old, and they ended up doing a sponsorship level. I think I set that up to you guys. Did everybody get it? Okay, because I had trouble sending it, so I had him send everybody because the file size or whatnot. So that's what they did over there, and he helped get that figured out. So thinking that's something we could do, and we can get this rolling.
First thing is getting.
We're going to have to.
Exactly, the costs and everything
The
to
bids.
plan before we approach, but
Getting the
just to
bids.
have this. Hey, we can go this route as far as donations, but let's get our designs ready so that way we
Pending
can
one
approach
imploding,
appropriately.
our approach is going to be White Parks first.
Exactly.
As a first step.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Because
That's
obviously,
some conversation.
if we're looking at a pavilion at Carr, wrapping up the pickleball courts, looking at White's, I don't see even leading into July with the 26-27 budget, another one being viable till like starting July of 27 into the 28 budget. It's
Agree.
Unless we get a lot of money donated.
unless, or we do end up getting a grant, but
that
the
too.
grants are a year-long process on the big ones. It's, I mean, this
We
is
do have some money set aside for the playscape too, which
Correct.
could help. The one thing I will say, what was I just about to say? Because just from talking to him, the other thing too, installation. They still do community builds. They're not as common anymore. Talk with Alan Chase about it. They would prefer, like, first they weren't wanting to do it because of insurance reasons and that. And I talked with him, and even like, okay, let's say we do bring in skilled tradespeople. That's one thing, but with his company, Plain Park Structure specifically, their inspectors, they won't sign off on it until they inspect it. They're going to inspect it first and go through everything. They're not going to, as far as like the warning stuff, the warranty would still be good. They're not going to try and like force us into hiring their installers to make a profit in exchange for the warranty not being this or that. So
Right.
they're really good about stuff with, that's what we're, another thing that was going to keep in mind too.
okay. Well,
My 2 cents is just, whereas you referenced other people from other localities seeing our playscapes as an attractive thing, I see that as a potential negative that is not necessarily where we are oriented as a township and a park commission
Correct.
right now in
Correct.
terms of like
agreed.
if we had a snack bar or if we had some way to make money at these places, then it'd be like, all right, let's get people here. But as it is, it's like, well, we're a small township with,
Limited
our
budget on the
our
parks as
budget,
is.
and are we just going to put something out there that then becomes a magnet for, the city of 200 and something thousand people that's a mile away from us and other areas that don't contribute to the resource, however the resource is there and they use it freely and
Yeah, I
residents
agree with you on that.
are,
I understand what you're saying.
and that's the thing with all,
Our equipment breaks.
I'm the liaison for Parmalee Park. We have a disc golf course. I'd expect that if you were to take 100 participants at the disc golf course,
70.
maybe 8 to 10 are Bedford residents. Like
was
almost
70%, it's
everybody
probably more,
using
80
that resource is a
80 to 90.
non-resident.
And how do they treat it?
Precisely, right? And like, yeah, I'm sure the gas stations get a few more gallons of gas as disc golf players.
Or an energy drink.
Right, but like, we don't really have a way to maximize revenue, and if we did, that'd be one thing, but we don't, and like, that's where, I don't know, this is a wide-ranging discussion that I don't want to have too wide-ranging, but like, that's when I hear about all these resources and things, it's just like, so like, do the Bedford
Yeah, that's
residents
where
just get squeezed out?
That's my thought process on it. Like, we're not looking to
Don't make it
double
too nice.
White Park's playscape and make it this landmark, nationally recognized piece. I want to replace what's there to something modern and new for the residents that do constantly utilize it, including myself. That also maintains that it's not going to triple the usage when that is already a packed lot between summer and the playscape, the courts that are there, and 3B with tournaments over the summer. We know how that lot already gets. We don't need to put an amusement attraction in at this place.
I can
to
ask him about that.
Triple the usage. It's
just a balance, it's a
playing
balance.
game to
We
where
balance 'cause we're-
what's there is nice.
where we
Yes,
are.
if we could have something a little more modern or with a few other amenities here and there, or if we do make it, ADA accessible with the turf and with some new sidewalks actually leading to it,
Yes.
that also incorporate our pavilions that are in place that are a revenue generator.
Yes.
That's a win on all.
Right. I think this would be good for parents that have special needs children that want to be able to get outside and enjoy the weather.
Exactly.
In the summer.
That's kind of where I think our scope and our view should be.
Right.
We don't need to go
Or a
crazy
or a
on this,
awesome playground with a snack bar.
well,
We start having a snack bar.
3B
that
has-
Yeah, the
$250,000
concession stand.
3B has the concession stand when they're there and operating games and tournaments and practices. So
There's ways
which
to make
that
it
helps
work.
with
I'm-
their funding, which helps with paying the bills for our park. And
There's pros and cons to every approach.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, the nicest one in the world for Bedford Township right now doesn't necessarily meld without us doing some things to make it meld. But anyway, all right, that's my 2 cents. So.
Anything else we want to comment on, or just move into?
I will say, when we look
having
at
a plan?
if you guys, I don't know if anybody like read the sponsorship level, but some of those levels are different categories and then different things. Like, okay, people get invites or whatever things they give to people when they donate a certain amount of money. But we can always adjust those numbers if we see fit. Just throwing that out there too. We haven't really talked about what we want it to look like for the sponsorship levels, but let's.
If we even approach that realistically, that we can determine better once we've got a good idea of the
pricing
price
and figuring out what we
doing this style with this type of turf and sidewalks and all of that. Here's the price range we're going to be looking at. Okay, now we can move forward. And how much sponsorship do we need? How much? I mean, does it get to a point where our budget's just non-realistic and this would never happen? And we've got to go to millage discussions again, like we did 4 years ago and 2 years ago. Do we? I mean, these are all pieces to it. These playscapes are some of our biggest ticket items in terms of maintenance and overall replacement.
Right.
Getting those quotes and those pieces are going to be the first step to us knowing how we need to approach.
And the big cost of this that we're going to need like a lot of donations for, or like you could say a key donor, like a large business that's going to maybe potentially donate a lot of money, is the big cost is going to be the turf.
Right.
The equipment itself won't compare as much to what the cost of the turf is going to be.
Okay, well,
Just
we've
keep
got
on
a
that
good,
the big item.
we've got a better idea now of how to move forward and
Yeah.
approach them. And as we're in the winter here, we can
And I'm
moving
gonna,
forward on it and get some numbers.
Sounds good.
I'll keep everybody on some email loops this week.
Perfect.
We're gonna get this figured out by the end of the month.
That's all we've got on that. Leads us into parks updates and going over everything. It's the dead of winter. I don't know if you have a whole lot for them, but Anstead, Wheeler,
I do. I have a lot.
go for it.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
So the Anstead Park, when I walked with the Nature Conservancy, TNC, back in November, one of the things we discussed was diversifying the prairie. So I'm going to work with Dr. Peter Blank, and we're going to look at his crew with a TNC and figure out what diversity we need to put in there. He did walk it with somebody else, I can't remember who, a couple weeks back, and he had some ideas. So we're going to round up here soon.
Which would be good to know too for the burn planned for spring, since
Yes.
we weren't able to get that
So,
in.
so I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to say this again, and I said it a couple weeks ago. The burn in the spring, we're going to relocate it from Anstead over to Wheeler.
Perfect.
And the reason is because as we walked, and again, I am no arborist, and I don't know if anybody on here is an arborist, but they looked at Anstead and said, you know what, if you skipped a year, you're going to be okay. Wheeler is your bigger concern with the burn. So the burn starts March 1st, the season starts. So Matt, where are we at with getting signage? Because I have a couple signs I want to get placed up so we don't have to do individual signs every time we do a
Tell me a
burn.
date, I can whip them up in a half hour.
Well, what I'm looking at is the aluminum sign that you're going to order. So we have it permanently placed there that says our burns are from March 1st to, I can't remember when the date is, April 26th, and it goes back to.
Do you want a permanent aluminum sign when it could be different every year?
What you do is you put a permanent sign up that gives them, so they know the 6 weeks here and the 6 weeks here, that the burns can happen.
Gotcha.
And then we can also do the individual sign, if that makes
Or
any
the actual
sense.
date and the
The
day
actual
and
date,
closing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm talking to kind of segue into that with Al, and we are in the process of looking into getting a system to make our own signs. They're
Okay.
going to be about $3 each, which is significantly cheaper than having to order every time we need one.
Because we're still going to need to order signs.
Are they going to be laminate over aluminum or
It'll be aluminum with vinyl.
with vinyl? So the vinyl will have to be replaced every couple of years.
6 years is the minimum
Average
lifespan of
lifespan.
them,
Okay.
which is
All right.
still at $3 each.
Yeah. Well, then you get the big poles to pound it in. Does that include the poles?
That's just to make the signs.
Yeah,
Should
yeah,
be
so
just-
then the
you're
poles.
looking at about $20 or more
Yeah,
for each
okay.
sign to make them, or to buy them at a company.
So that's what's going on with the Anstead Park. Just taking a look at the Diversify the Prairie, and then we're going to schedule our burn at Wheeler this year, and we'll go back to Anstead next.
Perfect. That's what we need, is
Unless-
somebody who has the knowledge in that, because
Unless we can get a burn in the fall too. So let me work with Bob
and that'll be,
Boss.
it's the fire department willing.
Yep.
Do they have the availability? Do they have?
Yep.
Burn in the fall wouldn't
Time.
be a bad idea.
Well, that was what we had planned, but we
We
ran
tried.
into it was soaked.
We tried. It
Right,
was,
right.
And then
November
it was
12th, and it snowed on the 9th.
And then we had
Yeah.
that week
too
snow,
wet.
then it was soaked, so
Too
you
wet.
can't do it.
Yep.
And he didn't have enough time to get
then-
people scheduled in before the end of the season, so.
Yep.
So we'll schedule one for the spring and try to get 2 or 3 different dates, so. Okay. That's it for
Works.
Ansted.
Nice.
Do you want to throw in Wheeler right with it? Any update on
Absolutely.
Wheeler? Go for it.
Yep.
While you're on
So with Wheeler Park, again, I'm going to go back to Dr. Peter Blank. He is working on a grant to help us cut down the trees of heaven.
Good.
So there is a grant available. Our application has to be in by January 31st. So he is going to take the lead. He and I, again, need to circle back. He sent me an email 10 days ago and asked me if we're interested. Yep, sign
we
us
are.
up. So I will circle back with him on that. So that's one good thing. The other thing, we talked about planning a burn. Third thing is I had 3. I've walked the acreage, not all 22 acres, but I walked the park with 3 different vendors to look at the removal of trees of heaven and then the black locust. Yep. And 2 out of 3 of the vendors say the black locusts aren't a problem. While they can be invasive, and they are invasive in some parts of Michigan, we looked at our park, and really, truly, the black locusts don't seem to be that big of a deal. Now, they're native in Pennsylvania, Aaron, believe it or not. It's a tree that's not invasive in Pennsylvania. So the black locust doesn't invade our prairie land at this point. So I think what we're going to try to do is, if you look at Whiteford Center by, not Concert, what road is that, section?
Yep.
When you're coming up, you have the prairie and you have the black locust there. What we need to get is our maintenance guys to leave a nice walk path, kind of separate it so it doesn't want to go into our prairie. Not that the
okay.
black locust can't come down, but I think if we look at that original estimate of $205,000, we just don't have money to take black locusts down.
Yep.
And they're not like the trees of heaven. They're not
Right.
invasive like the trees of heaven.
They're not as bad, but yeah.
Well,
Spread so rapid.
well, again, they're native to this country.
At least, yeah, that is true. They are native to this country, but not to the area.
The tree of heaven is not native to this country. The tree of heaven fosters and helps the lanternflies. So the
destructive.
black locust does something a little bit different. What it tends to do is it makes the stuff in the soil, and there's a lot of different things it does, but that's one of the things that it can stop the prairie from growing. So if we try to do a cut, and then let's see what we can get done with our park people. They're in the middle of getting trained to do the herbicide stuff. So it doesn't mean in the future we can't try to plan once a month with them to take some black locusts down. But I don't think in our budget we just have an extra $150,000 to cut down trees.
Agreed.
So,
Right.
so I think there's a better way to do that. We'll focus on the trees of heaven, and then from
Yes.
there we'll look at the black locusts later and try to stop them from going into our prairie, which they haven't.
I like it.
We've got some trees of heaven in our prairie, so that's another matter. They're small ones that can be dug out, so that would be something different after we get the trees of heaven out, that we discuss how to work on that, and maybe we can get a Cub Scout troop to take that park, which I did put a thing out and ask those guys if they did or didn't want to take it, and they're going to talk to their troop. So that's that. And then the next thing is troop, I can't remember the number, 7946 or something to that effect, out of Sylvania. They came over and they got the bat boxes done. They showed me the bat boxes. I gave them the all clear to put them up. We looked at the old bat boxes, and then I walked them through and kind of showed them what trees are potentially going to be taken down. They're all marked,
Yep.
or most of them are marked now. We got orange stuff on them, so they're marked. So we know which ones need to be taken down. So they'll start working on getting the bat boxes up, which is good, right? The bats eat insects that are good to get out of the park. So
Awesome. That's more of a plan we've had with that park than the past couple of years. So
Yeah, that's good.
thank you, Don.
I will say with the black locust, is that a situation you're going to continue to monitor as far as like, even though they're not an issue right now, but potentially is just,
well, we'd have to find an extra $150,000 in our budget to take them down.
right, we're not taking them down yet, but it's like something you'll continue to monitor, even though they're not encroaching right now into the prairie.
I think what I said, I reiterate, is that our maintenance guys have the training to do the herbicide so they can take the tree of heaven and the black locust down.
Okay.
But they're not certified right now.
Okay.
So I will work with them on a plan moving forward when they get to that point where they can, that we can start focusing on some of the black locusts. So
Okay.
I can't get there until they're certified. So when I came in last week and talked to Al, they're not certified yet, but they've had the training.
Okay.
So once we get to that, we'll get to that.
They're
But
working on it.
it's not worth it going the outside for $150,000 if it's something that can be done in-house. Again,
Totally agree.
the black of locusts are not trees that are invasive. They might not be native in Temperance, Michigan, but they are native in Michigan, and they're okay in Michigan.
Okay.
So you've got, and if you Google it and you go research yourself, you're going to see there's all kinds of views, whether they're good or bad.
Okay.
And in that park, they're not drowning out everything going in that park. If they were, that park would be destroyed by now.
Okay.
So we've got a balance with them right now, but we can work on thinning them out.
Okay.
And when you do have that thick forest of black locusts, they're not getting the sunlight, then they're not growing as much either. So.
Okay. Yeah, because there's
There's a
that
balance in
one
work.
whole section. It's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this will just be a work in progress, and we'll keep working on it. And once we
Good.
get the trees of heaven out, we'll take a look at black locusts down the road and see what our township can do that's basically free versus having an outside tree company take a look at it.
Totally good with that. I think the maintenance department should do more for us.
If they have time, and there's emergency things, and
Right.
this is a maintenance item, but not an emergency. Emergency is a furnace. Emergency is this door. So
Yep.
we'll work on it.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Samaria Park.
One thing I'll mention, like
Obviously,
I said,
other than the heat replacement and all that.
they also did the AC unit. I don't know if you caught that email, but they also did the AC work too. So that's all good. I don't think there's any other issues.
Perfect.
Nothing new otherwise.
I don't have anything new for White Park. Parmalee,
Did you talk to Mitch about our errors in the?
I
have not
have
talked to Mitch.
I have
Yeah,
contacted him a few times. We haven't been able to link, but I'll
We know if
work
he's
on
even
it.
still in the game.
That's what I'm finding out.
Right.
So-
So the Black Swamp may just be kaput, probably. Yeah.
I'll
I'll try to
I'll
get with him,
update you
too.
once
I know I can
more.
see him on these Saturday mornings. I got to get up early and see him.
Yep.
But
If you
Errors.
connect with him, let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep trying him
I'll,
and see
I'll
what
see
I can
if
do.
I can even get a sticker and like plaster over the.
That's
errors.
what I'm thinking will be the biggest piece.
Okay. Good.
Cars Grove, the note I put in there for it, the Christmas tree recycling program through Monroe County Green Commission, that did end yesterday, the 11th, so please do not continue to pile Christmas trees into the south lot. They are done with that pickup. That was from the 26th to the 11th. We'll let them do that every year in that south lot there. They collect all the dead live Christmas trees from the season for anybody who wants to drop them off there, and they mulch them up and they use them in
Trails.
county parks and trails throughout the county. So it's a great program. We'll let them continue to do it, but just making the note that did end yesterday. So please dispose of your trees if you didn't get them over there in time elsewhere, like Mulch King or other recycling facilities. Anything else for Carr?
The tree was coming down as I pulled up today. It looked like it was 90% down already. The one that was dead and dangerous.
Hazard.
Yep.
The hazard tree.
And looks like the fence is nearly complete for the pickleball, so that's
Good.
looking good. Been talking with the engineer, and he's been out there a few times, and he says everything is as right now on track and looking appropriate. So yeah,
It's fence, and then once weather, obviously with the coatings, it's got to be a certain temperature, but the final
there's
kind
another
of pieces are
layer. I think it's a half inch or so of.
the trowel down coating over which is the actual court surface. And then once that's installed in, it'll be the striping and the final pieces.
Yep.
And we'll have courts, it'll be the net and install and the finer details. At that point, once we're to there, is when we can get signs ordered for labeling the courts,
That one I'll
getting
have
them
to-
up
that one
on
I'll
the
have to order, 'cause that's
system.
gonna be a big sign.
Yep. We'll get them into the rental system. We'll kind of, but obviously that coating can't be put down till spring hits and certain temperature. I did notice and kind of messaged you when I was checking on the tree recycling that the fencing looked like it was getting delivered finally and in stock. It was. They've been installing it, so things are progressing again. Anything else for Carr?
Can't think of anything off the end. I think we discussed them already previously.
Pocket parks, I don't have any updates specifically. I know all of the swings and those pieces for the parks all around that order was put in and approved. So for spring replacement, once the weather breaks, they'll kind of get in there and start replacing all those pieces. The same robotics group that did the fall cleanup for Centennial has requested, or if we can start as we get out of winter and are getting into spring, they'd like to continue and do a spring cleanup there as well. They kind of are taking that on as that's their park. They like it. They're putting the work into it. They did request with the swing replacement, which I told them we're already taking care of. I think there's 4 picnic tables there that they said they're in good shape, but the top surfaces, like the actual framework to them and everything's good, but the top surfaces are the wood boards that quite a few of them are looking bad, and they would want either approval from us to kind of work with their kids and to use some tools and to replace all those pieces and kind of seal them, or if they want us to handle that, or how we want to approach it. They were willing to provide, materials, the labor, the pieces to it to work on those. As far as I'm concerned, if they're putting in all that effort and they're sprucing up the park and doing these things and they want that experience with it, I would have no problem with them replacing those tops to the tables and the benches out there and making them look nicer. Biggest thing will be getting a spring cleanup date in mind that they'll kind of put it out there and have it in conjunction with if we're doing other parks at that time or whatever it may be. But she said just to keep her in the loop, and that's all they requested. Just to kind of update everybody.
Nice.
Don't have anything else from any of the other pocket parks. Anybody hear anything, or Aaron, any info on anything? It's winter, so I don't think there's a whole lot you're going to hear from anybody. That leads us into comments from the public. None's present. Final commissioners' comments. We'll go down the line. Aaron? Nope. Matthew?
Nothing to add.
I don't have anything to add. We've gotten quite a bit done this meeting. I appreciate it. Joshua?
I think we've had a pretty productive meeting. One thing I will say, we were talking about picnic tables. That reminds me, I know this spring we're going to look into picnic tables and grills and replacements and stuff. So I'd probably right now maybe get a list worked on, figure out how many grills and picnic tables need to be done in each of the parks and benches too. So we can get numbers for what we need to spend on that.
Okay.
Nothing for me.
Thank you, Dawn. Need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Report?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Our next meeting will be the 26th here at the hall at 7 p.m. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.